The CMMCS Super Saloon and TinTops had returned to action at Silverstone on the 21st of August, and the day started with an interesting qualifying session under light rainy conditions. Initially, it looked like Rod Birley had secured pole position, but right at the end of the session, Alex Sidwell and Paul Watson had snatched the first two positions. Birley would still line up in third position just ahead of Ronan Bradley. Nick Sutton would put his Mitsubishi into fifth position alongside Martin Scott and Peter Selden. The leading tin top was Chris Bassett in 8th, followed by Adrian Bradley in 9th. Dave Charlton would round out the top 10, securing Class T1 pole in his Seat Leon. Race 1 took place on a drying track and saw Sidwell lead the way through Copse and down through Beckett. Birley was slotted in behind him in second position and chased after the big Holden V8.
We're about to go for the start then. The cars coming side by side. The pace cars peel up into the pit lane, so the race about to get underway. Alex Sidwell and Paul Watson on the front row. Paul Watson in the orange BMW, and then on the second row, Rod Birley in the black Ford Escort WRC. Now they accelerate towards Copse Corner for the first time, and I think it's going to be the white Holden that has the lead, or is it? No, I suspect Rod Birley of sneaking through on the inside and taking the lead. Is it the black Escort?
He's just about level with him as they come towards him here, but Sidwell actually slots just in front. Watson holds on to third place. He's ahead of the white and green BMW just behind of Ronan Bradley. A lot of them stamping on the brakes. The white Mitsubishi Evo doing well as well. Williams poking his nose down the inside in that 205 on the 47 BMW. He's now got the Holden Commodore going one way around him and then the other BMW E36 going the other. That almost looks like a super touring car spec BMW, the number 30 machine. It's even in a sort of semi-period correct livery as well. We've got a few stragglers a bit further down the order though, sharing numbers 2, 2, 3 and 23.
Right, it's Holden from Ford Escort as they turn into Luffield to come through in a moment to complete their first lap. This is a 15-minute race, incidentally, that they have. They have two 50-minute races today. Side by side, the two leaders then as they come through Woodcote, and Rod Birley has the inside line and takes the lead. So over the line, it is the Escort shown us in front, with the Holden Commodore having to settle into second place as they turn into Copse Corner to start the second lap. It's tied for third place as well, with at the moment just in front number 101 Paul Watson with the BMW, and alongside him almost into the corner was 78 Ronan Bradley with his BMW E36.
Birley had snatched the lead back on the end of the first lap, but their battle would continue for the rest of the race. For 7 laps, the two put on a spectacular display of close, fast racing, never more than 0.7 of a second apart. Then, on lap number 8, Rod locked up going into Brooklands and the lead would change hands. We would later be informed about a steering bolt that had worked its way loose, causing the wheel to undo. His retirement would come at Brooklands, which would hand Alex Sidwell a comfortable win. The battles behind were no less intense. Watson and Ronan Bradley battled for third position for the whole race, until unfortunately the two would come together.
And we've got two cars doing triple salcos, or whatever you call it, because they were doing rotations on the grass, on the track, couldn't get the grip, tried to recover their composure. It's Watson and Bradley who were doing it. They both got going again. They clashed lightly as they went into Brooklands. I didn't actually see that bit, but once they got there, they then started going round and tried to straighten the car out, and they spun again.
Nick Sutton in his Mitsubishi was there to capitalise on the incident and would move up into third position, but unfortunately for him, he'd have to retire on lap number 8 with a suspected front differential problem. This all promoted Adrian Bradley into third position, which became second once Birley had retired, and he also won Class C.
Sidwell leads. He's got a lot of flames popping and banging from underneath that Holden, but he's now made the move, and Birley is down to second place, and he's got a good few car lengths on him as well, actually.
This is almost history being made here, because Rod Birley rarely gets beaten with that car. And on this lap, having got the lead back, Alex Sidwell has done purple sectors 1 and 2.
Nick Sutton has come into the pits. Not sure if you picked that up already, but Nick Sutton has come into the pits, and car 7 has got a black and orange flag, so the battle for third has died off, to be honest with you. Bradley now has a good gap over Dunn of about 2.5 seconds, but unfortunately Nick Sutton is dropping down the order in the pit lane.
Yeah, on the screen it says black and orange flag for number 7, but I don't see a black and orange flag. Perhaps he's already responded to it. Number 7,
That's the blue Fiesta. It's just come into my sight now, actually.
It's not shown as having come into the pits. Oh, it's come into your side. Obviously, it hasn't. So a new fastest lap then to Alex Sidwell at 1 minute 1.110, almost all the ones. Led Rod Birley now. He's getting away. Rod Birley is 2 seconds adrift as they completed lap 9.
I think the blue Fiesta has broken down. It's going very slowly on the Wellington straight towards you. A bit of blue smoke coming out of it.
Meanwhile, Gavin Dunn was making good progress in his BMW as he climbed up the leaderboard and eventually would come home third in his E36 BMW, also claiming Class B honours. Fourth would go the way of the recovering Ronan Bradley, who got the better of Watson. Scott drove a good race to finish 6th, with Bassett in 7th, the leading TinTops. Nick had returned to the series, this time in a Renault Clio, and would finish 8th, a great result in a brand new car, as Ken Angell would hold off Dave Charlton for Class T1 honours. Jeremy Sutton put on a great comeback in his Sierra Cosworth after a first lap spin to come home 11th, followed by Andrew Presswell in his Vauxhall Astra and Mark Williams in his Peugeot 205. Then followed Nick Lunn, Jason Stone, Jack Whitehead, Steve Dan, Angelo Massanetto and myself, rounding up the finishers. The retirees from this first race of the day were Birley and Sutton, and the other retirements were Andy Woods-Dean, who's guesting in a brand new Holden V8 supercar, Graham Richardson, Peter Selden and Ian Seal.
Alex Sidwell picking up the race. He had it under control actually, didn't he? All throughout and managed to get it on. Alex, I was just saying there, you had things under control, but they're never really truly under control, are they, on a racetrack?
No, not at all. I think one silly move and you've chucked it away really, and I say Rod kept me honest for a couple of laps there, and I thought, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a battle. He seemed to be struggling, yeah, especially on the corners, so I thought here's my chance, so I took my chance.
What's the track like? Because obviously we've had a couple of races now. Is it bone dry?
Really good. I could really go into the first. What is that, maggots or coppers? What's the first?
It is, yeah. So you can really take a bit of a risk with it.
The lean on the car, lovely in there. It was really good. Yeah, I really down to fourth and lean straight on it.
And I bet you have to in this as well. It's a bit of a monster, isn't it?
It is a beast. We were suffering understeer this morning, but that all went away. So yeah, good to the boys. Thanks for 2 chaps today. Only 3 of us here today to run it, and it seems to be a golden chalice. So let's hope.
You're feeling confident of race 2 later?
Let's see what happens with the weather, eh? I think
it's supposed to rain, but it hasn't really that much today,
is it?
But
these BMW boys are a bit handy in the wet. You know, this is a bit of an big old girl to chuck around in the wet.
Well, Alex, congratulations. Well done. Alex Sidwell there, your race winner. I believe we might be heading off to a lunch break, so I might go get myself a little sandwich. See you soon.
The conditions for the second race had deteriorated considerably, as heavy rain had started in the afternoon and continued throughout. The track had some large puddles and rivers running across it, but after 2 safety car laps, the field was unleashed.
Let's go splashing. Alex Sidwell and Adrian Bradley. I thought Alex, he's got so much power under his right foot though, he's got to handle it carefully. And as they relatively gently head up towards the gantry with the red lights on still, they go out any moment now, and loads of balls of spray head towards Cops Corner, through which I can't make out who's where, but I would say that on the inside line Alex Sidwell has the advantage and therefore has the lead, and anybody who gets the lead in these conditions is going to have a huge benefit because they've got nobody throwing spray in front of them.
Very true indeed. A bunch of headlights and huge rooster tails of water make their way towards me. And it is Sidwell in the lead. Watson's gone straight on. He's on the grass. Oh, and he's clattered into the side of the Holden. He has absolutely nailed the side of the Holden. He's taken the outside of both of the doors off the front of it. Watson just went completely straight on. It's the 2 similar liveried BMWs at the very front of the field, cars 78 and 47. But there's a lot of debris across the road. There's yellow flags down here. Watson and Sidwell are both in the gravel on the exit of the corner. Marshall's just going over and checking that
what happened
okay.
to Rob Collard at the BTCC race a few years ago.
It was a very similar accident. Watson's front, I think the car went completely around, and I'm unsure of which side it was that hit Sidwell's car, but Sidwell took a very big hit in the right. Watson's running over just to check that Sidwell's okay. He's just apologising to him. That's really nice of Watson, to be fair. His initial concern was straight away to check that Sidwell was alright. He's even sort of getting Marshall's out of the way just to make sure that he's alright. But that was a huge hit, and hopefully Sidwell is okay.
Safety car is unsurprisingly being used.
Yeah, that was a monstrous hit. There's, like I said, the entire shell, I mean, there's a marshal taking it away now. The entire shell from the outside of the door has come off, so there's only the internal part of the door, the rear door I must add, on the right hand side of the Holden. Watson's car on the right hand side also very, very badly damaged. But the gravel did its job. The car stopped very quickly once they'd got there.
There was damage to both of the cars, but thankfully both drivers were able to get out of the vehicles. With debris across the circuit, the red flags had appeared, which saw all the cars return to the pit lane and sit there for 45 minutes. A number of cars decided to pull out after sitting in the pit lane for a number of minutes, and after 45 minutes of sitting in the pit lane with rain continuing to fall, 7 drivers appeared for a 5-minute sprint. And what would happen next was truly quite special. A fantastic battle for the overall win.
And the Sirocco, dare I say, going like the wind, is in front. In second place is... Oh, it's still Ken Angell second. Ronan Bradley is third. And you should have the leader.
Yep, he's just popped over the crest of the hill now. I can report the rain has got worse again.
No.
Yep, it's got a lot worse again.
That's just your imagination.
He's actually going to put a lap on Birley. I don't think he imagined that he would do that this season, to be honest, but even still, he's out there and he's doing it. Birley very tentative into Beckett's. Now, is he actually going to hold up Dan through here? Dan smacks into all that water again, almost stops the car on the apex of the corner, and suddenly Angell is right with him again. It's almost like Dan doesn't know what to do going around Birley. He gets his foot down. Angell's already up to speed though, and dare I say it, Ian, I think he's going to get the lead.
Well, they're heading then along Wellington Straight towards Brooklands for the final time. This is the last lap. This is lap 4. And into Brooklands they go, and they're side by side. Ken Angell hanging on to the lead if he possibly can. He's got it back. So Dan's on the inside, they're side by side. This is an amazing result. Side by side through Luffield. It's going to be which one that's going to get to the line first. It's going to be a real Silverstone type finish, avoiding the big standing water on the inside, coming up through Woodcote to the checkered flag. And it is just, is it? No, Ken Angell's coming back at him. He's getting across the line. It's a virtual dead heat, believe it or not, in these very, very trying conditions. Across the line, just in front was Steve Dan by 0.086 of a second wins from Ken Angell in the BMW. That was brilliant, as you made the point, Chaz. It was partly to do with the fact that it was an opportunity for them to win a race where they don't normally feature right up at the front, and they certainly, full marks to both of them. That was really impressive stuff. Ronan Bradley finished in third place, 5 seconds behind them. And those are the 3 to have taken the flag so far, as has Rod Birley in 6th place, a lap down. So he gets to the end, determined to show his car does work in appalling conditions. Perhaps not quite as well. Just coming up to the line now in the little Ford Fiesta is Jason Stone to take 4th place.
Well, as you can see, everybody, welcome down to Park. It is very, very wet indeed. Ken Angell over here just picked on the line, wasn't he? But what an incredible finish, despite actually the restart and despite the treacherous conditions. We were treated to something quite special. Ken Angell went for it right at the very end, couldn't quite get it done, but it was this man, Steve Dan. We're going to grab a word with these guys very, very shortly. In fact, we might be able to grab a quick word with Ken now whilst he's sat around waiting to see if he can. Ken, that was quite something, quite a finish, wasn't it?
Man, that was hard work.
It was hard work. I thought you almost had him on the final corner.
Oh,
It just went wide.
It was on the line, yeah, literally 10 yards between us.
Just another 20 yards and the BMW power might have done it, yeah?
Yeah, I managed to get the better of him going in down to Brooklands, but I just couldn't keep the line coming around the outside.
Well done, just keeping it on the track.
Yeah, it was
well done, mate. Congratulations. We've got Steve Daniel race winner over here as well. Let's see if we can have a word with him. Let's see if he gets his window down. He is in a second, I think. He's stalking up in there as well. Steve, I can't say I blame you for not wanting to open the door, because it's quite something. And it went right out to the wire, didn't it?
It's a little bit wet here, yeah.
Just a little bit. Because that's a bit of a weight going out there. Just how slippy was it out there?
Oh, it's horrendous. It was aquaplaning all over the place. It's bow waves. Bear me a second, I've just got to reverse up.
Yeah, go ahead. So I can see hold your ball. There you go. Look at that.
it's more standing water than anything. It's probably a little bit too dangerous to do that, but
it's not getting any better.
It's not getting any better.
There you go. Well done.
It's good fun.
You won.
Keep it on the race. It's the first time, I suppose.
Right, everybody else has deserted us because it's too wet. So let's see if we can get the next race going. But it is absolutely soaking here. Thank you.
So Steve Dan would win just ahead of Ken Angell, the gap less than 1/10 of a second after this fantastic 5-minute sprint. Behind them was Ronan Bradley, Jason Stone, Adrian Bradley, Rod Birley and myself, finishing up the 7 runners. A massive thank you to all of the drivers, competitors, staff that made the day a special one even through the very tricky conditions. Thankfully now there is a slight wait until the next round at Snetterton in early October. Fingers crossed everyone involved in the incident in race number 2 will be out and racing with us once again. Thanks also to the marshals and spectators for sticking through what was a very tricky day, and we hope to see you very shortly for the next round at Snetterton. Goodbye.